Am I worthy? Do you get to the place where you're like, yeah, I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I'm actually worthy. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like I should be accepted in this way. A lot of times when we talk to survivors of narcissistic abuse and people that have been beat down over and over and over again, one of the biggest things that is affected and is impacted is your worthiness, because it doesn't feel like you should be worthy. It doesn't feel like you're allowed to be worthy at all. That other person, he probably told you time and time again that you weren't worth anything, that you weren't worthy to have the things you wanted to have or do the things you wanted to do or go out with friends or interact with your family or interact with anybody for that matter. Oftentimes when you're in a toxic relationship, you have all of your rights taken away because you don't matter. Your feelings don't matter, your emotions don't matter, your thoughts don't matter, nothing matters. And you start to believe that it actually means and dictates your worth and your value because another person has been doing that for such a long period of time. How many of you right now watching this video would say, hey, I don't feel worthy? Like, raise your hand. Put it in the chat. Because when you've been beat down by a toxic person over and over and over again, you get to the place that you don't feel like you have any worth. Now, sometimes this is because you attribute your value to being how they respond to you or your value of what they actually say, but ultimately it becomes something that over a period of time, you get used to getting beat down so much. You're like, well, if the person that says they love me is doing this, then I must not be worth it. I must not be able to. I must not be allowed to feel this. You get to the place where your worth feels like you are worthless. And I want to tell you something. The narcissist in your life, the toxic person in your life, they treated you like you were worthless. But that does not mean here and now that you are actually worth less. That means that person didn't have a view of actually treating you with any type of love, care, dignity, respect to treat you as a human being. And so what happens is you start to believe over a period of time that you are unworthy of love, that you are unworthy of a connection, that you are unworthy of a healthy relationship, that you are unworthy of the things because of what he said to you. I want you to consider for a moment what would happen in your life right here, right now, if you thought you were worthy. Not if you are, but if you just thought that. How would it show up different in how you interact on a day-to-day basis? How would you interact with your kids differently in trying to help them grow and get through the challenges of life? How would you show up differently in your business when you're able to show up and say, hey, I can actually connect with these people. I can actually show up in a positive way. How would you show up different if you knew that you had this piece of worth? If you had it figured out, if you had it dialed in, what would that actually look like for you? What would that actually seem like? Because this piece of worth gets people so confused and so lost over a period of time. That leaves you stuck thinking, I'm not worth it. I want to encourage you today that you're worth it. 100%. It might not feel like it in the moment. It might not feel like it based on the things that you're going through right here, right now. But what if we could change that? What if you could show up on a day-to-day basis, investing in you to actually move to the place where you knew and you could understand, hey, I can show up worthy because I am worthy, because I can show it by what I've done day in, day out, of how I've invested back into myself. Not just with working or working out or just showing up, but everything all together, of how it impacts you on a day-to-day basis, how it impacts you on your life, on your spirituality, on your relationships, on your business, on every single piece of your life. What would happen if we were able to just flip that and have you believe and understand that you're actually worthy? You see, the battle that you faced happens in the mind. And you can work on it on a daily basis. Let me tell you a couple ways how. One is through consistent exercise. One is just showing up daily for you, no matter what it is. Could be a walk, could be a run, could be just something small, something simple, but doing something daily that's actually investing back into you. It starts building up some energy, starts building up some muscle, starts having you work on you. This produces a piece of confidence. Then that confidence goes into what you do on a day-to-day basis of journaling. Or as we term it inside of some of the challenges, stacking, where we actually take you through an evolution, a process of being able to understand the story that you believe, to be able to take you into a place where you get clear. Until you're working out, you're getting clear, you're spending time like meditating, going through life saying, hey, I'm going to calm myself in the moment and kind of work through this step by step. Getting clear on the evidence, on the facts of the actual situation. Working out, meditation, journaling, or stacking as we call it, going through the systems that we actually have set up. And then learning and investing in you, saying, what do I need to learn? What do I need to apply back to myself? Like putting this together is what is the baseline foundation of transformation. Like people look at me and they're like, hey, how have you done it? How have you changed so much? A lot of it has been the daily freaking consistent practice of working on myself. Meditation, daily stacking, working through the stories that are in my head, weekly therapy, date nights with the wife, like you name it. There's a ton of different things that have been put into my life. All those things have now become habits. They can become habits for you as well to help you break free from the thought process that you're unworthy, to help you break free from the thought process that you're not good enough, to help you break free from the thought process that says you need to stay stuck. No one's going to love you. No one's going to take care of you. You are all on your own. All the lies that you start to believe by being in a toxic relationship. And those lies will construct the frame, the prison, and the things that leave you trapped. I'll give you those side effects, 100%. CPTSD, chronic depression, anxiety. I don't know how to say the other one. Agoraphobia, I think that's how you say it. We see a lot of people that have hair loss, a lot of people that have autoimmune diseases, like a lot of people that struggle physically after and inside the relationship, because until we change the thought process, until we change the mindset, until we help you break free, you will always be stuck mentally, emotionally. Doesn't matter. We see it happen all the time. 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, you can be away from this person. It will not matter. Like this whole aspect of you being free is you learning how to be able to work through the cobwebs, the labyrinth of decisions that you have in your mind to be able to be free every single day, because it starts from there. It doesn't start from just the physical place. Physical place can help 100%, but it doesn't guarantee freedom. It doesn't guarantee that your mind will still not be stuck in the rumination, be stuck in the trauma bond, be stuck in a place, dead end, going around and around in a cycle, being like, why can't I get this toxicity out of my life? Comes down to a simple piece of making a choice to be free. Whether you do that with raw motivations, or whether you do that with someone else, or with your therapist, a counselor, other challenges, other programs, if nothing changes today, nothing changes.